The Arrowverse has had 20 seasons across its 4 main shows, and each one of these seasons has had a season finale with a cliffhanger leading into the next season and teasing things to come. In this video, I will be ranking these cliffhangers from least to most exciting, regardless of what it actually led to in the next season.
Can I say something strange? I'm happy.
Oliver and Felicity driving off into the sunset was not a cliffhanger that got me very excited for the next season in the slightest. The actual moment was incredibly cringy, and there was basically nothing to look forward to in the next season based off this cliffhanger.
Everyone deserves a second act.
This cliffhanger kind of makes me dread the next season of Legends of Tomorrow. The villains of the week, I guess, will be evil people throughout history, like the people we see in these coins: Genghis Khan, Charles Hanson, Joseph Stalin, and I'm guessing Hitler will appear as well, which all sound kind of cringy, and just like the magical creatures from Season 4, is not really what I want to see in the superhero TV shows that I'm watching as villains of the week.
Thought I was leaving too? Not a chance.
There wasn't really much to look forward to when Arrow was at its lowest near the end of Season 4, and this cliffhanger didn't help things at all. The only characters on Team Arrow are Oliver and Felicity, with Felicity saying that she's never going to leave, which completely felt like a gut punch and middle finger to like half of the fan base, which I did not expect to end well in Season 5. Thankfully it did, but that is regardless of the actual cliffhanger and why this cliffhanger is so low on this list.
My name is Amanda Waller, Mr. Queen. We have a lot to discuss. Welcome to Hong Kong.
Oliver going to Hong Kong wasn't very exciting for me personally. I didn't love the fact that Oliver left the island during these 5 years, especially back then, so there just wasn't much to look forward to with this cliffhanger, especially since the cliffhanger was from the flashbacks, not the present day.
Supergirl, be careful. You don't know what's in there.
Oh my god.
Supergirl Season 1 left a lot to be desired as a season, so any cliffhanger that did include something insane probably wouldn't be very exciting. This cliffhanger wasn't insane, and it wasn't very exciting, but I definitely was at least a little bit interested in who was in that pod, and I think that it did end well in the next season, which again is regardless of this list, but still, this was definitely not a terrible cliffhanger.
Whose brilliant idea was it to let an ancient demon out of his bloody cage?
Sarah's.
Well, you opened the door, love. And malice wasn't the only thing that got out.
Like I said earlier, magical creatures aren't really something I want to see in a superhero show, especially as the villains of the week, so when Constantine showed up with a dragon's head, I wasn't really that excited going into Season 4. The reason it is higher on this list than the Season 4 cliffhanger is because this cliffhanger basically affirmed that we'd be seeing a lot more of Constantine going forward, which is definitely a huge positive. Barry going to the Speed Force was interesting only in how I expected it to power him up once he inevitably leaves the Speed Force. Other than that, there wasn't really much to look forward to in Season 4 based off this cliffhanger. This cliffhanger set up a Supergirl version of the Red Sun Superman storyline, which is maybe the most ambitious thing they've ever done on Supergirl. That's not saying a lot, but I definitely was at least a little bit interested in seeing how they would handle this, although I wouldn't say I was particularly excited.
It will grow strong on Earth.
And then what?
And then it will rain.
This cliffhanger got me more excited for a season of Supergirl than ever before because of the fact that it created the season villain actually going into the season instead of like 15 episodes into it. Rain definitely looked like a pretty good villain as well as the World Killers based off the comics, so I definitely was at least a little bit excited, although I wouldn't say I was hyped or anything, just a little bit.
Guys, I think we broke time.
This is the first cliffhanger on this list that actually did get me very excited for the next season. The Legends breaking time looked really interesting, and the world they would be in now would definitely open up to a lot of very creative and interesting possibilities, so I was pretty excited going into season 3 based off all of that.
Who are you?
I'm your daughter, Nora, from the future. And I think I made a big mistake.
This was definitely a great cliffhanger that had been kind of teased throughout the entirety of the season. Ever since the crossover, this had a great payoff to the setup, and I was honestly pretty excited to see Nora in action and see how her story unfolds and how it will affect season 5. I was kind of worried that Oliver being in prison wouldn't last very long in season 7, which is why this is only on number 9 and not way higher. If I knew how awesome it would end up being, it would be a lot higher on the list. I would have been a lot more excited, but obviously that cannot affect the slots on this list. Still, I was definitely very much anticipating seeing Oliver's time in prison and how that affected the show going forward, and also I think that the prison, just Oliver being in prison, was very intriguing, and him meeting up with his past villains sounded pretty awesome. This cliffhanger was the perfect ending to season 1 in the story as well as the actual moment. Seeing the glades being destroyed, and especially with the music in the background, definitely got me very excited for how they would continue that and handle that in season 2, which is why I definitely like this cliffhanger a lot. This is definitely one of the most hyped cliffhangers in the actual moment, and like how it worked in the episode, how the episode ended. I definitely was very excited going into season 2, and the other reason this isn't closer to the top is because while this was an awesome moment and I was excited for season 2, we didn't really know what to look forward to in season 2, and we didn't know what to be excited for. It's just that we were excited because season 1 was so good and this moment was so incredibly hyped.
Incoming time flux.
The newspaper change at the end of The Flash Season 5 didn't really create anything new, but just like the rest of the Crisis teases, it did a great job at hyping up the next crossover within the confines of the show, where they used the thing that they showed in the very first episode of the show to create hype for the crossover, as well as make the universe feel a lot more connected through all of these cliffhangers, which I will go over the rest right now.
Leviathan is everyone. And Leviathan is coming.
Besides, I have one more place to visit. Pray for our prey, Sean Jones.
This finale actually had 3 cliffhangers, one of them setting up the Season 5 villain Leviathan, which is a Batman villain group led by Talia al Ghul, which I doubt will have anything to do with the comic version, and I definitely am not that excited for that. It's definitely not the cliffhanger that I'm excited for. The other 2 cliffhangers show the Monitor intervening on Earth-38, bringing Malefak into the fold, which was pretty exciting, doing something to Lex Luthor which wasn't revealed, but definitely integrated Lex and probably Malefak as well into the upcoming Crisis, which I am definitely hyped for.
What are you not telling me? I've seen your future, Oliver. Inexorable and unavoidable. I have watched you die. During this crisis. I am truly sorry.
This Crisis tease revealed Oliver's deal with the Monitor, the one he made in Elseworlds, which was a huge plot point throughout these crossovers, and it did it in a very emotional way. It revealed that Oliver is going to die in the crossover, or at least that is what he's probably going to do, as they kind of left it open to interpretation with the second cliffhanger with Felicity and the flash forwards. Either way, I definitely think this was a great way to end the season, and a great way to hype up the Crisis on Infinite Earth crossover, along with these other cliffhangers, as well as the small cameo from the Monitor in Legends.
Who exactly are you?
My name is Rex Tyler. I'm a member of the Justice Society of America.
Legends of Tomorrow Season 1 wasn't great, and the finale was no different, but I remember being so hyped at the final minutes of this finale. Vandal Savage died, the Hawks left, and it looked like Season 2 might be going in a completely better direction, and I was 100% convinced of that when we were promised to meet the Justice Society of America through this pretty insane cliffhanger. The Lian explosion is without a doubt one of the most exciting and intense moments in Arrowverse history, and going into Season 6, I was so hyped at the prospect of what it can do to the show, possibly kill off Felicity, possibly kill off Diggle, maybe set up a better Team Arrow in Season 6, and solidify Prometheus as the best villain in the Arrowverse, and all of that wasn't really paid off well, but the actual cliffhanger was amazing. This cliffhanger is without a doubt the cliffhanger that got me the most excited in the next season. Barry saving his mom set up what is probably the best Flash story from the comics, and I was so hyped because of that, because Flashpoint was something that I wanted to see so badly. Again, just like the Lian explosion, it was not handled well in the conclusion, but again, the actual cliffhanger was handled incredibly well. The actual cliffhanger was amazing. This whole scene was so hype, and I remember being so excited for Season 3, more so than any season of the Arrowverse before and probably after. So with that in mind, let me know your list in the comments down below. Which one of these cliffhangers got you the most excited in the next season, and what they would be eventually paying off. Let me know in the comments down below, and if you like this video, make sure to leave a like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.